Good morning. Story time. So this story involves politics, war, science, and enormous amount of stupidity. So this story starts at a dusk of 1996 when two gentlemen, the professors of the physics department of University of Sweden, are standing on a lonely bank of the harbor, having two letters in their hand from the Defense Ministry of Sweden, stamped confidential, where it's written to be present there at this point of time, alone, without anyone. They have been waiting there for quite some time. The clocks struck at 6. A speedboat came with two naval officers with complete suit. They stood there, they boarded the speedboat, and they started their journey. The boat went for some 10 to 15 minutes and then landed on an island middle of nowhere. Nothing can be seen around. At this point of time, they asked nothing. They just followed those two officers and stood in front of a rock, just a rock. Our protagonists have no idea what's happening, and they know that there is no point of asking these officers as well, because still now they have not been very chatty. In the meantime, one of these officers went ahead, did something on that rock, beep beep boop boop, and exactly like a James Bond movie, the rock opened. There is a sliding door, there are stairs downstairs. Our professors are very scared. They have come here without anyone's knowledge. They have followed two completely unknown gentlemen, and they are going to do something they have no idea about. So they simply followed those two officers. They went in a room. There are approximately 10 to 15 people sitting around a large wooden table, and one military officer, a top brass, medals on their chest, sitting at the opposite end of the table. And then he started his brief. He said, "Ladies and gentlemen, today in this room we have accumulated 15 of the top-notch physicists from this whole world. You are the lucky 15. And today I am going to tell you about a problem which we are suffering from the last 15 years." So the story starts in 1981 when US and Russia were at the peak of their Cold War, and we, Swedish people, were pretty vulnerable because of our geographical position. We are just at the middle of it. And one fateful night, a Russian submarine crossed our border by mistake. Which sounds to be a mistake, but it was a pretty big deal. And war submarine crossing another country's coastline. So immediately we went and informed Russian military base. They said that they are sorry, they apologized, they said it will never happen again. But we became a little scared. So as a precautionary measure, in 1981, what we did, we float different buoys all around the coastline with sonars attached to them, so that anything that passes our coastline, we will immediately catch it. 6 months has passed. One fateful night, the radar, the sonar detected something big crossing the coastline. And we understood another submarine has invaded. Immediately, the top officer gave us two orders. One, destroy the submarine. Two, be ready for war. We immediately launched launched from helipad. We deployed choppers. We dropped a bomb. Boom. We waited for the wreckage of the submarine to come up to surface, but nothing came. The submarine was destroyed, but there was not a trace of the submarine. We thought, okay, maybe this was a technical glitch, maybe a mistake. 6 more months have passed. Again, same thing happened. Something big is passing through. Again, deploy the chopper, drop a bomb, it's done. Okay, no wreckage is found. No trace of any destroyed submarine. Again, 6 months. Deploy chopper, bomb, nothing. This happened again and again and again and again. And we have been suffering with this for the last 15 years. We are fed up with this. This is the first time we are bringing this in front of the eyes of normal people, the U15 scientists. I want solution from you. What is happening? So then the scientists ask, how do you understand that this is a submarine? So of course, first because of the size, we estimated from the sonar. And secondly, we heard a sound which is very typical from those submarine sci-fi movies, like a metallic sound like, can you please play the sound again? Yeah, sure. One of the two protagonists, these two scientists, they said, can you give us 2 days and I will solve this. The military officer, his mind was blown. And we have been struggling with this for the last 15 years and you can do this within 2 days? Great, go ahead. Next day, the scientist went to a fish market and he bought a small herring fish. You know, herring fish, this much small. He brought that herring fish in front of that military officer. And he said, let's look at this. This is a herring fish. I'm pressing its belly. And immediately that sound came. The military officer was not very happy. He said, what is this? You are letting me hear a hearing spot? I have asked you to solve a major problem. Yeah, but listen to this carefully. What is this? This is a herring fish. They have an air pocket in their stomach. So whenever they have to float or submerge in the ocean, they will release the gas from their behind and they will float. He said, but this is such a strange voice, but we are hearing something much amplified. Of course you are. Because hearing does not travel alone. They travel with a school of fish. So of course you are hearing a sound much more amplified. I kid you not. The officer immediately sunk on his sofa and he was like, yeah. I think that it makes sense. Because just 5 years back, when we had sent our officer to investigate this in Russia and asked Russia to immediately stop sending scientists, submarines every 6 months. They said, where are the submarines? War has been over for the last 3 years. We have all the submarines are resting on our dock. And then he said, yeah, and not only that, it makes even more sense because every time we used to hit those submarines with the sonar beam, like a blast of sound, submarine used to form 2 to 1, then 4 from 2, then 8 from 4. And then again they merge and become one submarine. And we thought the Russian must be up with a great technical advancement. And they have discovered or invented a submarine which can be departed. And then again join back. So ladies and gentlemen, I am Abril Pan. Then this is the story where two nations had almost gone to a war because of hearing spot. Thank you.